anyways, before we start talking about paranormal activities, anyone else got any OSHA stories or stories in general?
I got a guy who like taught me in upstate in college, and he was like, "You're from Brooklyn?" He looked at me. He's like, "Ah, you're not from Brooklyn." I was like, "Wow." And that was how me and the OSHA guy became friends.
The OSHA guy was like, you ain't from Brooklyn. And you're just like, I am. And he's like,
Nah.
nah. Hey.
Hold on, I might even have pictures. Let me go digging.
I remember doing something that was that would have got us severely dinged by OSHA if OSHA would have been there at the time, but luckily they weren't. It involved getting a fucking grill off of a third story shelf. We had to, and the thing is, it wasn't like a box grill. It wasn't a grill that was unassembled. No, this motherfucker called in and was like, "Yeah, I want this specific grill, and I want it built when I get there." And we're like, "Okay." So we get to it, and we find the grill. Thing's so fucking big and long, but it's also so heavy, one person can't pull it off the shelf. So we end up having to tandem up on the item picker. Now, mind you, this platform we have is only like a 4x4 fucking space. So me and Josh have to go up there, work the grill out, and then one of us has to stand vicariously on the edge. Well, as we're going down, Josh like flipped the controls a little too quick and it dropped and it caused me to lose my balance and I fell off the item picker. And that day, I got to test the harness.
Yeah, I was about to say, were you not wearing the harness? Those things hurt though, when you like stress them or test them. It's just, you know exactly where they sit.
Yeah, no, I went on break afterwards. I was like, I'm going to lunch. I am in a form of pain I never want to feel again. I don't know why people have wedgie as a kink. That is.
My friend fell off the order picker. He didn't have the harness on. He just had it over his arms, and like he had back issues, but he did something right. He fell off the order picker and cracked his back. He was like, his posture was great. He didn't have any more back pain. Like he auto chiropractored himself in a way that was like a miracle. It was like, wow, dude, fuck.
Wow. I mean, you you got us an OSHA violation of $50,000, but hey, I'm glad your back feels better.
All the other coworkers, I wish that was me.
No, you don't. Shut the. Is it $50,000 or was it like $15,000? Because I know it's like a very high value if you fuck up on that item picker and you don't have the harness on correctly.
I guess it depends on the state.
Which is fucking retarded because it's like one state's like, oh yeah, that's not an OSHA violation, while another state's like, what the fuck, are you crazy? Like, they're just drifting the forklift in the parking lot. Don't fucking worry about that. They're just.
Thank you so much, Chunky Serena, for the follow.
I have the forklifts that don't have the treads on the tire because we run them on smooth concrete all the time.
Oh no.
So my particular forklift does really, really awesome drifts when it gets any kind of wet or frozen out. So driving that thing in the snow, and they tasked me with like, here, just put a pallet on the forks and then go be a snowplow. I was like, oh, bet. So I was out there having so much fun last year. It was great.
Amen.
Anyway, here's Wonderwall.
Okay.
But
what's
Wonderwall is a song that apparently guys in college would learn to play and sing on guitar to impress girls, but it became cliche. Anyway, so
Baby, gonna be the one that saves me.
we are past the 5-minute mark, and so I'm gonna go ahead and do the instruction. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Sundays at the Lich Lounge. I am one of your fellow hosts, Xenolich, and this is my co-host.
How you doing today, folks? I'm Maniacal. I'm from the Saturday group, and I'm so excited to be here tonight.
Joining us tonight, we have 3 guests tonight. Starting from left to right, we have the zombie over there, played by our friend EJ. EJ, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, EJ, or otherwise Seether Roz. I'm from the Tuesday Boys, and you also might know me from when I stream. I stream variety games, be there sometimes.
Playing the ghoul with a snack to nom on over there in the back of the lounge is our good friend Hive.
I'm also from the Tuesday group, the best human fighter you'll ever see.
And lastly, the one and only the witch over there with the eyeball staff, Skittles.
Oh, pardon me, sir. That's Hag. Yes, Saturday group supremacy. Let's go.
Thought they were the same thing.
Yeah, what is the difference between a hag and a witch?
One is Fae, and the other one is magically endowed.
Okay, but I mean, like because there's hag and witches in real world mythology too. So what's the difference?
The exact same thing that he just said. Also, one tends more towards cannibalism, whereas the other one tends more towards spiritualism.
I think the hag might be the one towards cannibalism.
That is correct.
It sounds like.
Well, regardless. Today's topic was one brought to us by Maniacal. Maniacal, why don't you go ahead and explain the topic for today?
So tonight's topic is basically like spooky, kind of like a scary, spooky situations that have happened to you, right? That's what we because you helped me workshop that a bit.
Yeah. So the stream title should pretty much explain everything, but it is scary and strange encounters in our lives. Very simple. We kind of just go around the table and explain what is a encounter that you've had in your life, whether you were young, whether it was an old memory, a recent memory, or somewhere in between, of something that was just strange or scary to you at the time being. I'll go ahead and I believe we had someone who was very eager to give us a story. EJ.
Oh yeah, I got a bunch of them.
Go for it. Give us one.
What's all right? So I'll give some pre-story before I give some real story, like some context. I live a mile away from the closest train. To the L train or the 3 train, but it's
when you say so for more broad context, he lives in New York, which means he lives in an area that is close to the subway. Which, if you know anything about a subway or any type of public tram system of trains, a lot of crazy shit goes down there.
Oh, I've seen people fight. Like I've seen arguments. But that's not this story. That's another time. But yeah. So I think it was a Wednesday night if I'm not mistaken. I had my iPod, my headphones just broke, so I was like, all right, whatever. So I put my iPod in, and I crossed the street. I'm doing my thing. I think it's like maybe late. It's like 8 or 9, but it's definitely winter, so like the sun's down all the way. I get about halfway home, and then someone taps me on the shoulder, and I look behind me, and it's just like, well, he's holding a gun. And he's like, what do you got in your bag? I'm like, look, bro, unless you're trying to help me, be in mind, I was like, all right, if I'm going to die, I've had an okay life so far.
EJ, EJ, you're basically gonna be like, you're gonna pull the most New Yorker thing, like, oh, you ain't trying to rob me. No, that we ain't doing this today.
No, I was just like, he's like, what you got in the bag? I was like, unless you're interested in the Hunger Games or you trying to help me with my algebra test tomorrow, I have nothing of your value. He was like, dead ass? I was like, look, I opened my bag. And he's like, damn, we don't got shit. I'm like, yeah. I don't.
who, who the fuck sees a high school kid and goes, "Ah, yeah, I bet they got all kinds of cash. They gotta have all, especially what."
I didn't even have a wallet at that time.
Oh god, don't take any offense to this, EJ, but from the stories you told me, you must have looked like a broke ass motherfucker.
Oh, I dress like comfortable. So a lot of people are like, you dress like a bum. But at the end of the day, if I'm happy, I'm happy.
Well, and that's what I mean. Like, you, what made this guy look at you and go like, "Ah, yeah, I bet he's got something with
No,
all this
but-
bullshit."
well, no. I mean, by that logic, don't you remember like how there's like a lot of like rich people who are like at this point they're too rich to care about anything. This is why they dress comfortably. So EJ's just giving off the same look as someone who's clearly wealthy.
But this is clearly happening when he's in high school. What the fuck did this dude think? Like, oh man, there goes the that must be the most richest teenager ever if he's dressing like that.
Well, let's not forget what rich parents, high schooler.
No.
The area that what area were you in? Were you near the high class area people? Were you like getting ready to head up to the penthouse suite of the newest building that was made?
I'm gonna keep it a sag with you. I live in the projects. There was no way.
So,
I've
I'm
lived
still,
my entire life. There is no way in God's hell that I was going. Maybe if I went to Starrick City, I was like living all right, but like no, not at all. I broke boy.
so that's why I'm trying to figure out what this dude was like. What was it about you that he just looked at you and was like, "Yo, this dude looks worth the hassle."
All right.
What?
So he's like, "Word, you don't really got anything?" I'm like, "Nah." I pull out my iPod and he's like, "Yo, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this?" I'm like, "You're robbing me."
Like, what the fuck? Like, yo, you're robbing me. Don't fucking start giving me shit because I have an outdated iPod. What the fuck?
He's like, "Is this an iPod?" I was like, "Yeah, it's pretty shit to be honest." And he's like, "I want to smash this, but I know I from the looks of it, it don't look like you got nothing else." And I'm like, "Please don't." Like, all right, on your and I go home. And
He went
tell my
from robbing you to calling you a broken ass bitch.
he did. I was like, but like I wasn't offended. I was like, yeah, he's right. Like I'm not gonna sit here and be like, how could nah, I'm broke as fuck. He's not wrong in the slightest.
So,
And you know what's the tipper?
what's up?
That Wednesday, I was coming home from church. And I was like, no more Wednesday church ever.
God was not on your side.
No, he wasn't. And I only went because they're like, yo, you should come on Wednesday. I'm like, all right. Sure,
I mean,
I'll try it.
Did as a side note, did you get it back? Did he give it to you?
Yeah, he just like looked at it and he was like, yo, bro, just take this. Just go home.
Oh my fucking god!
He gave you an apology. He's like, "Look, man, I didn't mean to make your day worse." Like shit. He's like, shit.
It's like an old Vine I saw. Like these dudes go to rob this poor sap in his home, and when they go in, they see he has no furniture. He just has like a blanket and a cup of noodles in front of him, and is like, "Yo, come with us."
Yeah, but besides that, it honestly, at the end of the day, I was scared out of my fucking mind and I played it off like I did not give a single fuck in the world.
Dude, I think that dude went to church. He's like, "Look, man, I gotta rethink some things. I just tried to rob this broke ass teenager. I clearly need help."
I mean, I can dig it though.
I don't know, man.
It was
I don't know.
was nonetheless a pretty a strange story to say the least. I've never heard of someone who literally got back what they robbed because the robber, other than in like memes and jokes, the robber literally thought that they were too broke and that just gave the money back. Never heard of it.
Like maybe that was the point. Maybe you were just God's message that day, where that man was like, "I need to go talk to a priest or something," because
I was like, it was like iPod Touch and like
Uh,
the iPhone, I think 7 just came out at the time, and I was like,
wait, are you talking like first gen iPod Touch?
yes.
No wonder he called you a broke.
Like
You-
I don't know if you remember it, but that iPod had a feature where like it was like a small little silver circle you could press in and it would pop out and you could like put like string. You could put a string through it so that way you were able to like have it on your wrist because it was an iPod straight for like little ass babies.
Yeah, he
What
was.
was like the first thing? Be in
Yeah.
mind, he's looking at it and that's when that screen was cracked to hell. I had the Spider-Man edition for real.
Oh my god.
He was-
Hold on. I was just gonna quickly ask then. So, you know, clearly that's what you go on. You gotta imagine like at some point, this dude like kept looking around, and he realizes he's just in the wrong area to be doing this thing because everyone he meets is either gonna be of the same level, and it's like, well shit, there's no point in being over here.
Yeah, it was just like, yo, bro, go to like Manhattan.
I, I probably would have looked him dead in the face and be like, "Are you new? Are you new? Is this your first day?"
My first was because I was tired. I was just like, oh. In my mind, I was like, oh, come on. Because to me, the iPod was worth so much. And when when he was when he was like, "This is all you have," I was like, "Yes, yes."
Dude, I'm starting to think. I bet that motherfucker had an airsoft gun. I bet he was robbing you with that. Because if he was there, he's probably broke as fuck too.
I heard him clack it. It was real as fuck.
Hey, they make some pretty realistic airsoft guns, dude. They got ones that sound just like the real things.
I
Actually,
went.
ask Lonnie about that. That's a Lonnie could. I think Lonnie's got like several that he could show you and demonstrate how well they function. Like Lonnie's kind of a scary dude.
I went home and I was like, well, I told my parents, and then my dad went out. He ended up finding the guy because he took a photo, but he took a photo after he beat the living shit out of him. And I was like, oh my God.
Don't mess with Papa Bear.
I didn't know. Like, I was like, yo, how did you find him? And he's like, don't worry about it. And I'm like, all right. All right.
Dude, I bet your dad was. I bet your dad was his higher up. I bet he was like, "Yo, you. How many times I have to tell you? Don't fucking rob this area. This is the wrong fucking area." Also, he was my son, you motherfucker.
It wasn't him by himself, but his like sidekick in a sense said nothing. He was just there. And I was just like, oh God damn.
I like to imagine his sidekick was like, "Dude, the fuck are you doing? What the fuck do you think he was gonna have?" His sidekick was probably giving him all sorts of shit like, "Yo, we were on our way to get a better score. Why did you stop?"
Oh, here, hold on. So at least that was EJ's story. Does anyone else got a story that they'd like to share? Something spooky or scary? Because if no one else does, I'll gladly share one that I encountered on my road trip. So,
I'll let you go next. Yeah.
Yeah. So, basically, leaving California, coming over here to Washington to pursue a different career, be with my family, and as me and Skittles are driving up here, we have to like, oh, hey, let's stop by another gas station. Let's go refuel and get some like good road fuel for ourselves. We get off this one exit, and already like this, to give you guys an idea of the scene, we are in the middle of like bumfuck nowhere, California, where all that's around you is nothing but like fields. And currently the moon is a nice crimson blood red due to the fact that the fires nearby, because it looks like it was like a controlled flame for the crops, was like causing the moon to be red and the night sky to be like just gray and just like a little ashy. It wasn't affecting.
Remember you stopping at my station?
It wasn't too bad, but still. Then we get off and we're like, oh, take a look at this gas station. Skittles immediately does the because there's cats at this gas station. We are like, oh, look, there's cats. It's a nice little area. Look at all these little feline critters. And she goes inside to get stuff, but we both notice something's like really wrong with this place. First off, we're like, there's a bunch of cars here, but these cars are like, they have dust, they got cobwebs on, they got a bunch of spiders, and these aren't like cars that look like they've been here for like years. It's like we're talking like relatively recent cars that are just been here, existing for so long that they have spiders and webbing just in every nook and cranny of them. And so it's like this place is like abandoned cars. There's a bunch of cats, and there's no one else really around. So I'm chilling outside with my dog, letting him do his business. Skittles is going inside to go get some fuel, go get our stuff. And I'm like noticing more and more how like, oh, this is really weird. There's like some really big ass spiders here. What the fuck is going on? And Skittles comes back out explaining how like, dude, the person in the gas station who was running that, he kind of looked like he was just like, he's been trapped. Like imagine like an eternity of just being the gas station worker. You look like you're dead inside. When he looks at you, he's looking through you, and it's like, do you guys have this? Yeah, I guess. Points out like old, like you guys remember how like iPhones and like iPads used to have like the what's the word for, the wide connection for your stuff.
I hated.
the 64
Yes.
pin
Yes,
connection.
they had those still. They still had
Yeah.
those in stock.
Okay, so really quick, so for everyone listening, why I'm laughing so fucking hard is Zeno basically just described 3 years of my fucking life.
And it's like, you at least would probably be able to understand. It's like, oh yeah, they probably just had those because it's like they never really change them out. But for us, seeing this, once again, this place, not a soul around. Hell, I doubt the person working there had a soul. I'm seeing these cats, these spiders, these webs, these abandoned cars, and we're just thinking to ourselves, like, we got enough gas to go another few dozen miles to go and get gas. We're fine. And there was this idea that I had told Skills on our way out of there. It's like, imagine if you went to go pet one of the cats, and it just like open, like from where you touched it, it like opened up, and it turns out the cat was just a mobile like spider egg sac, and then you would just see the thousands of spiders coming out of a cat's body.
I think would be worse is if you went to pet one of the cats and it just goes, "Help me!" You're like, Jesus, fuck, no, like, fuckers are
But
getting
like for
killed in the
real,
cat.
that was like for really one of my theories was that he came out with that spider sack theory. I'm like, all of these nice, fancy, brand new ass cars, all of these cats. What the fuck is going on here?
I can tell you exactly what's going on there. One, the town that you were in has a cat population that is unmanaged completely. Two, the owner of that gas station owns all those cars either to try and flip or sell there in town to no one.
Hey, you
And
have logical reasoning for all of these things. These thoughts have passed through our heads, but being there was a completely different vibe.
well, you also got to understand these logical explanations are from someone who had to fucking live it for 3 years.
Right.
That's why
But I think it's just, we came to these conclusions after it. It's a lot of the initial like shock of just going through this. Like EJ, hi. Speaking from people who, I don't know if you've worked at gas station, but how would you feel if you had encountered what I had described?
it's creepy as fuck. What's even better? Sorry, go
And
ahead.
the box.
Yeah,
Go for it, EJ. What were you saying?
Sounds like a normal day in the Bronx. Actually, no,
Oh my-
Staten Island.
Oh my god.
There, dead old people, decrepit.
yeah.
What
I
about
think
what about
that,
you? Oh, sorry. What's up?
have you on?
Huh?
Did you?
I had to get some to drink. Sorry.
Yeah. So, not being used to situations like Zeno's story, how would you feel if you were to come across a gas station like that?
I live in a magical, like eldritch place called Florida. So, there's gas stations like that, especially at nighttime. And
So
I remember like buying stuff from that kind. They don't even talk to you. They just you give them the thing because you in that one you can like see how much you need to pay. So you just do it and then leave immediately leave.
So it's kind of funny, Zeno. You're talking to three people that
that clearly just like see this. I think here. So there was a concept that right here. Hold on. There was a concept that Skittles told me about people who go and chase. What was it, babe? Here, go for it.
Sorry, I just got a Dance of Fire and Ice, so I was like into it. But like I also grew up in that area. There's like one gas station, no stoplights. Everything is surrounded by woods or country. Like I get it, but being there, it was completely fucking surreal. It was also like was it like almost 100 and something degrees out, and again, the sky was blood fucking red. It was smoky. Everything was covered in this like weird layer of dust. It was like it was not the normal kind of small town gas station in the middle of the night in the middle of nowhere vibe.
yeah.
That gas
Well-
station definitely had a basement.
Definitely.
Probably it didn't help. Like I walked in there and all of the lights were doing that weird flickering thing. It was like this blue wash light, and coming from a really red and yellow kind of tone outside into that blue flickering grossness, and like all of the coolers had this weird mist and condensation on them, like they weren't working
Right.
properly. It was
Yeah, that sounds like
Respectfully, would have had my knife on me. Would have had it out and ready.
yeah. I don't know. For me, like I probably would have like I don't know, like being in it probably would have been different, but like thinking about it, I don't think I would have been phased. I think I would have just been like absent-mindedly just getting my shit and just going like, "One of those nights, huh, man?"
Right.
The clerk.
I'd like to imagine for you, it's
His
like every other
ball
Tuesday.
just falls out.
The was it the this is where the what would it be, the urban skinwalkers come from?
Yeah.
you don't say that
Yeah.
name. What you're talking about the windy bagels, yes.
The windy.
Okay. So here's the thing: being on the flip side, being the guy behind the counter, at least the dude was the kind of dude who like he was dead inside. He was just like, I don't want to interact with me. On the other hand, I was the sadist motherfucker when people would come in looking scared and make it worse. I would be like,
Excuse me.
like they'd come in, they'd be like, "Man, it's a little creepy out here in the middle of nowhere by yourself at a gas station." I was like, "Well, I mean, we haven't heard rumors of the, we haven't had any killings lately, so." And they'd be like, "What?" I'd be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to be talking about that."
Got like a
You know,
mannequin in your fucking cooler or some shit with a hand pressed against the glass. Like, yeah.
yeah. Or like I just tell stories of, I'll be like, I like people would be like come in, I'm like, "Oh, you guys getting off the freeway for the night?" And they're like, "Oh, no, we're just stopping to get gas." And I was like, "You heading? Are you are you guys heading up north on the freeway?" And they'd be like, "Yeah." I'd be like, "Well, if you see any strangeness on the side of the road, like a parked car with its hazards on, or a man with the hitchhiking, don't stop." And they'd be like, "Why?" I'm like, I don't want to scare you. Just take my word for it." And then they
Ah.
would leave, and I would be like, "I am," and as they would leave, I'd be like, "I have instilled fear in their soul."
NPC from like Skyrim.
What? Someone stole your sweet roll. Well, hold on. So Maniacal Hive, what about you two? Do you guys have any stories to tell right now?
Which one do you? I got two.
You know, like what concept do you want? Early stage in my life? Do you want adolescent? Like, what do you want?
I want cryptid.
You want? Uh,
I got a good one.
I got a good one. So about so this was like when I was 16. I had just gotten my license, and so we were able to just go wherever we want. And it's summer vacation, and we decided we wanted to go, camping. So we decided we load up my SUV, we head out to a place called Three Peaks, and we decided to just go camping for like 3 days. And as we're out there, we decided to go, we're out in the woods and stuff, so we're like, let's go hike around. As we're hiking, we come across what looks like an abandoned campsite, like old abandoned campsite, like someone just like the tent is completely like just it's like shredded, like from the wind and elements. Like it doesn't look like anything attacked it. It just looks like it was tore apart by like wind, everything. It just fell apart. Chairs were gone, cooler was there, and we were like, should we report this? But from what we could tell, uh, it didn't look like anything had happened. It just looked like someone just left the campsite. Like it didn't look like there was like any type of struggles or anything. Like there was no blood, no nothing. And so we were like, we should probably report this when we head out. And we would kind of just agreed, like, yeah, we'll report it. And, it might be something up. But the next day, we decided to go hike back towards that direction because we kind of were like, okay, we're just gonna hike past that, and we came back. As we were hiking past where the abandoned camp should be, everything was gone. Like the remains of the tent, the cooler, the chairs, like the area looked like it had just never existed. Like it was just all gone. And I just remember turning to my friend. I was like, there was an abandoned campsite here, right? We saw that. And he's like, yeah, we saw that. It was there. And we immediately turned around. We were like, we're not staying another night. We are going home today. We are turning around, packing up camp, and leaving. So we turned around, packed up camp, leaving. But the entire time we were packing up and stuff, we could swear we were being watched. Like, that feeling you get in the back of your neck when someone's like watching you from behind, like watching from behind, like say a manager or something like that.
So wait, you're telling me you got this feeling that somebody's watching me?
Yeah.
I know that
like
all too well.
Yeah. So we were just eager to get out of there. And when we got out, we immediately called the cops. We were like, hey, look, we found this abandoned campsite. Told them where it was, told them the coordinates or directions, whatever you want. And the officer said, that's technically a restricted area. I was like, a restricted area in a public park? And they're like, well, we say technically because it's like for field research or something like that. I don't remember what the fuck they told me. I just remembered when they said it was like some type of research. I was like, we were being watched by some type of fucking government because believe it or not, that is actually something Utah is famous for. Government doing weird fucking testing in the deserts of the Mojave and here in Utah and shit because they think no one's gonna be out there. So it was probably my most eerie fucking experience because I just think about that every time I go like near Three Peaks or anywhere in the desert area of Utah. I just go, I just sit there and wonder who the fuck is watching me now. It's just, it was
I like it.
horrifying.
I like it a lot. There's definitely something for the scary that I dig. Yet Skittles knows me to. Oh yes, I am down to listen to this. Are you down to try it? Hell no.
Like, yeah. And we weren't even trying. It wasn't even something like, "Oh, we hear this place is haunted." Haha. We were just going out for. It was like summer vacation. We just wanted to go have fun, and that shit pops up, and we're like, "Nah, we're fucking leaving. We are not doing this." So.
Damn monkey. I know he's there.
Yes. Monkey's here. Monkey, I was gonna say, today's topic, we were talking about scary or strange stories from our lives, and I guess we're trying to get really like cryptic with these. But Hive, I think oh no, sorry, Skittles said she had a
Okay.
story. My bad. First,
Maybe Hive can go first. I'm just excited because, like, while we were doing this, we had left that gas station. I was talking to Zeno about getting together a cryptid hunting group, and the two top people on my list are in this chat with us right now, Monkey and Maniacal. Like, let's go. Let's fucking go.
Monkey, are you
us?
down for that?
So talking about cryptids, Florida has too many of them. One of them is the mega gator. It's a really big gator, and them bitches exist. I will say that wholeheartedly.
I've been here. I hear rumor, like here in Utah, we got two-headed coyotes running around somewhere.
You have a lot worse in Utah that you don't even you need to know about.
Yeah,
Where you
well,
got-
I know we got the skinwalkers. We've got
But saying the
yeah.
name,
Oh,
Windy Bagels.
But
windy bagels. Yeah, but
one time, well, a lot of the time, like back when I was a wee little child, probably like 10, 12, maybe around that age, we would like go out because where I live, there's like just like a big wooded area. In my friend's house, they would like
Yep.
semi trucks would park like the big what the fuck are those containers or whatever out back?
shipping
Like out
containers?
back and they're yeah, well not like shipping containers like the ones you put on semi trucks or whatever. Are those called the same thing? I don't know.
They're called
Yeah, they
shipping
are.
containers or sea dots.
Okay. Sea dots, yeah.
Just trailers.
And we would go look at those and we would go out back like way deep into the woods. There's like a bunch of like spiders and shit and an alligator skeleton I messed with. It's probably not there anymore, but one night this was I don't know why we were out so late, but we were out back looking at all like the like containers, and we could open most of them. You know, like some of them would have like graffiti and stuff, but one of them had a giant like you know like monster claws, like how they're big and it's like those three like slashes in it. The trailer had that like legit, like you could put your hand through it. They were so big. Like there's no way it was caused from anything else. Like something big had to do that. And
So wait, let me get.
the door was fucked up too. Like it was all bent and shit. And like some of the like grass and like part of the tree that was like behind it was fucked up too and like flattened.
So let me get this straight. You came across the movie set and was absolutely convinced
No, that was not a movie set. No.
that was
Like that was not a movie set. They did not do any of that shit there.
it's fucking. There
I
are
could
two places.
I
in
could go over
United-
there right now. It's literally down the street, and I could go back where they would put them.
I bet it's not there anymore, dude. I bet.
It's not. No, they're no, because they would come in and out. Like they would park new ones there every like now and then. They still do it.
Sounds like a free treasure to me.
Yeah, there's like just I don't know. I don't know why they fucking did it either. But yeah,
'Cause
they would always like come and go, and that one just had like a giant like. It was all just fucked up. And it smelled. It was weird.
Yeah, those things don't ever get cleaned, and they got some nasty shit in them.
Yeah.
I got another story, but this one's actually like scary, like paranormal scary.
There's oh yeah. This is I don't know if this is like spooky scary, but
well, it's
when we were walking like pretty far out, I was like we were like climbing a bunch of trees because they would clear paths to like put the shit there. And we were climbing it. Next thing you know, I fall inside the pile of trees and land in a bunch of thorn bushes.
that's just you being an idiot.
That sounds like an
That
overvibe
shit,
in my book.
that shit hurt me.
It does hurt. I did that on a rope swing. It just like fucking yeeted off the tree that it was on. I went down a fucking embankment into a bunch of fucking sticker bushes. It was not fun.
Yeah.
The only time I got launched into a sticker bush is when I was doing my downhill riding and my tire caught an edge and fucking launched me 5 feet down into a sticker bush.
Oh god.
That shit
Jesus.
fucking sucked.
Oh, I hear him. I hear the monkey.
Yes.
We're talking about scary stories.
We're talking about like stories that are either strange, scary, or I guess I'm trying to steer it towards cryptic to
Yeah,
for spooky month.
Yeah.
The one time I met the Amish.
I mean,
Dude,
if you
me and the
consider me a
Amish-
cryptid, I woke up in the woods. Well, technically on a hill one time when I was like 13.
You mean you just wait? So you mean you just woke up there?
Yeah, I went to bed in my bed, woke up on a hill.
Yeah,
I was
he
like
was
half a
What the
mile
hell?
away from the house.
he was.
I knew where it was.
abducted. Yeah, he was abducted. He got probed.
Well, unless they were chasing me through the woods, because I had fucking my feet were cut up, my legs were cut up, my hands were cut up. Unless they
You
were
were
chasing
sleepwalking.
me, yeah.
It's like all of a sudden we say like a specific like set of words that will activate like the true person in a monkey.
Monkey's a sleeper agent from the KGB days. We just hear him go, hunt, destroy.
All right, so you guys can pick. Do you want my most recent run-in with a possible skinwalker? Do you want the time that we were in a trestle and saw a UFO, or do you want our Bigfoot story from like 2 years ago?
Oh, Bigfoot. What the fuck?
I mean,
You heard,
EJ,
you heard
I
the
can
man.
tell you
It's
guys
Steve
about the
Bigfoot.
shadow
You
people
just
of
said no.
Oklahoma.
Yeah, EJ was too scared.
I want to hear the UFO one. That one I got.
Yeah.
Okay. I live in Washington. Uh, if you know anything about paranormal investigations, paranormal activities, the entire West Coast, especially the Pacific Northwest, is incredibly active for UFO sightings.
Where we kill all
Um,
those Native Americans.
no. I mean, a lot of Native Americans have died up here, but it's mostly due to like natural disasters and stuff. There's some pretty cool mythology and
By
stories surrounding that. Like the old
By
man in the
natural
mountain got
disaster, she
angry.
means white people.
Monkey.
The old man in the mountain got angry and threw a giant rock. But hey, there's geological evidence saying that giant rock that came from the mountain was actually an incredibly huge landslide that killed off an entire village. But there's stuff like that. There's also a lot of UFO activity up here. I was not a believer at the time. I am firmly now. Um, sorry, I had a hairball. I had a cough up. It was 14 or 15 back in the let's go hang out in the dark and be dumb kids age. None of us were drinking. Nobody was doing any drugs. Nothing was happening. We were just a bunch of little creepy goth kids or wannabe goth
Native
kids out in
Americans
the
are like
forest at night.
forward.
Now, in the town that I grew up, we were like out in the forested areas where there was a lot of lumber companies. These lumber companies built railway trestles that have since been abandoned and have turned into like biking trails and hiking trails and things that like the county tries to keep up with. So they're like graveled areas with bridges and stuff. And they're pretty well maintained. So we were on the trestle, is what we called it. And there's still railway tracks and everything. We're close to this big ass bridge, that a concrete bridge. So we're like in this little sheltered area by the concrete bridge. There's no wind, there's nothing. We got a bonfire going. We're just sitting around having a good time. And suddenly we look down at our watches. It's like 11 o'clock. A couple of minutes pass, we look again, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. We're like, how the fuck did that happen? We must be having a great time. So first thing that was weird was the time skip. The second thing that happened is we feel this incredible amount of wind, just like this huge downburst of wind. No noise whatsoever, just wind suddenly. And we're like, fuck. It
So you
scattered our
say-
fire.
And just a quick question. When you say like downforce, you mean like down force, like it pushed
Straight
downward.
down.
Yeah,
Straight down. It killed our fire, like scattered the logs. And then like we were like, what the fuck? We thought because weather happens and that happens in the woods sometimes. You get like from the mountain just straight downward winds. It knocks out trees and weird shit happens. But like okay, that was strange. And then all of a sudden we see a fuselage. We're not exactly sure like what it is. There's maybe 2 or 3 lights on it that we could see, and it zipped over us, probably about 50 feet up, and it was huge. Like, you ever been close to an airplane before and seen how big the fuselage of those things are? This was like twice as big as that, and it was like a gunmetal gray, but it wasn't shiny. And there was again no fucking noise. And as soon as that passed over us, we were like, get the fuck out of here. This is not okay. So we start leaving. And we're headed down the trestle at a quick pace. We were not running because it was dark and that was dumb. And then we start hearing military helicopters, like really close, really loud, that big booming noise that you're used to. And we were just like, get the fuck out of there. We all went home. We talked about it the next couple of days and decided that it was just a hallucination. We're fine. It's cool. Nothing happened. And then we started to see reports of sightings in that same area in the newspaper. So like it wasn't just us, and that was we were shook.
I want to say either you came across a legit UFO experience or you came across a government testing of a spy plane and their sensors found you and those guys were coming to debrief your ass. I don't know which is scarier. Either aliens were observing you or the government was trying to hunt you down to make sure you didn't talk.
That's fine. That's okay. I'm okay with either of those things. As nothing really came of it, but the fact that there were 5 of us, including myself, that had all experienced it at the time. There was that weird time skip, which happened a lot in the trestle. Actually, I have more stories about the time skips, but it was that weird time skip right before, and the fact that there was those really powerful wind events, but like there were no noises until the helicopters show up.
I'm going to tell you the time thing. I feel like the time thing is a completely different scenario. So which means
I think so too. Like I don't know how much you know about magical ley lines, but the area that I grew up in was just full of them, and the trestle is lined up like a lot of actual fucking major train and tram lines for lumber companies are lined up against fault lines and stuff. Those are natural spaces in the wood where there's tree breaks and things, so they just kind of follow the natural flow. Those are also incredibly spiritual areas, like spiritually charged energy lines. So it makes sense. So that was just weird that we all experienced it. And then there was stuff in the newspaper about like sightings.
I mean, it's very cryptic and very spooky. But I don't know. I mean, I kind of want to believe it's because I like to believe that alien existence and government and like UFOs and government, like I would like to believe that it's like all intertwined. I like to believe that what you experienced was like a stealth vehicle of some a stealth aerial vehicle of some kind, and the government was trying to keep it under wraps or something like that, or like it was alien, like it could be the aliens, it could be the stealth, but I like to just think like that was made because of the aliens or something like that. So
It was a very purely unidentified flying object, like in every sense of the word for us.
I mean, we don't get a lot of like. Oh man, I have EA. Range. Uh, we don't get a lot of UFOs around here, but there's a lot of Native American bad juju, in a terrible sense. Shadow people and all that.
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of Native American rumors around here in Utah.
Listen, I just don't. I'll trust a skinwalker before I trust a woman. Skinwalker, you know what you're getting. They're trying to eat you.
Well, Monkey,
Kind
you
of trying
seem
to
to.
be weird and freaky with the animal skin, but more.
Well, speaking of your location, what are some weird, cryptic, or spiritual or scary things that have happened to you, Monkey, besides the sleepwalking and ending up on a hill at 13?
I should state that it wasn't like a normal hill. Do you guys know what shale is? Shale,
Shell?
or
Oh, it's like that.
a
Yeah,
real
it's that.
fucking thin rock.
Yeah, it's that paper
You ever
rock
seen?
type.
You ever seen like how the hills of it form?
Yeah, they did. It's basically just like a cliffside of the shell and stuff breaking off, and it just starts piling up at the bottom of the cliff face, and it just
Yeah,
starts.
no. It holds itself together, but
Yeah.
I woke up in one of those like what do they call it? Erosion pits of it. So like it's kind of in a dark spot.
So you woke up in one of the cavern areas of where it just eroded.
Yeah. So what I'm thinking of having is I walked up the hill in my sleep, and then I went to step off the hill and slid down. And that's where I woke up. Oh God, my nose. Um,
No,
what
no.
do you mean? Like, explain. Are we talking paranormal? Are we talking like? We
Yeah.
talking like aliens? We talking
Well, it can be like.
ghosts, spirits of the woods? What are we talking?
Well, it can be either of those. Like we're talking like a paranormal, alien, a weird situation where you just went somewhere and it just felt all sorts of creepy, but it was just mundane. So I mean, like it's just like pick your favorite. Like you sound like someone from the conversations I've had with you. I know you've got like a couple good stories that sound similar to one of those.
The most scary one I would have to think of was the shadows. That one's creepy because I got a buddy who can back me up on that one. We were at like 11 at night. We were heading to go buy some batteries. We were sitting at his place playing Xbox. Controller dying. Need
You had to
batteries.
go. You're like,
We had to run to the
should we the
convenience store. We went and bought some double A's.
would you
What
pay
were we gonna
$6
do?
for
Sit
those?
there and twiddle our thumbs?
I mean, that's what you were doing anyways. Just now you would be doing it with the TV turned off.
Yeah. Um, but we had taken off. His parents had gone on vacation, and we were hanging out at the house. We weren't supposed to be taking the car out.
How old were you when this was happening? By the way?
Fucking 16, maybe 17.
Okay.
No,
So,
16, because my buddy had just gotten his license at the same age.
okay.
Um, we're heading to this little fucking town. It's Oklahoma. It's pitch black in between the towns, and
Oh yeah,
there's
yeah, I
like
know what you're
you
talking
might
about.
see lights out on the mountains, but that's like fucking maybe one or two, and those are houses way off the main road.
Or it's like a cell phone tower or something.
We hadn't noticed it until we were driving back. We had gone to the convenience store. It was dead night. There was just one dude, real creepy, working the counter. Big fucking Coke bottle glasses, old as shit, bald, just
Slightly
doesn't talk a
racist.
lot. No,
Mm.
that's
So
worse.
it
That
sounds
might be the
familiar.
scariest part.
So he's like the same dude that like goes to all of the gas stations that we've had experiences at. Like this is the same fucking guy.
Like,
But yeah, we were sitting there, and we noticed that a lot of the lights in town were kind of dimmed as well. Like, I guess somebody had gone through and like fucked with the lights on the main street. So there was like the gas station's big lights, and then there was one at the school that lit up the like play yard, and it was just pitch black out there. And we take off driving into it. We hit the edge of town, and we noticed that, oh, hey, you guys, you see that, right? There's something darker than the rest of the dark around us. And he was like, "Oh, you're just fucking with me." Until a deer runs out in the middle of the road, stops us dead in our track. We end up backwards on the highway, looking down, and he sees it because the light illuminates it, and it's clearly darker than like, 'cause it's right on the edge of the like lights cone, so it's just
Mm. It's where the
barely lit,
absence of light happens.
and there's clearly just one or two just streaks darker than the others, and it's not until it started moving that we started freaking out. 'Cause we were still like, holy shit, we almost died. There was a deer. And it was that, it's when it started moving that it really started messing with us because he whipped that thing around so fast. It, like, it, and like, we would look back occasionally and see there was just one or two. It never got more than like two, but there was just darker streaks off the sides of the highway.
You reminded me of
And
I was say. Oh, sorry. Could you?
it was just darker streaks until we got to the side of the highway. And my buddy, to like ease our nerves, instead of like us going out into the darkness while we had to walk from the truck to the house, we pulled up to the garage. I hopped out, turned on the spotlight that illuminated the front yard like hardcore, and we set our shit up, got what we needed out of the truck, and came back inside and left that shit on all night.
Did you go back
Yeah.
to playing games?
Yeah, we did, because we didn't want to think about what we were dealing with.
Yeah, I'd imagine you wanted to get it off your mind.
It was a shitty game too. It's Splinter Cell fucking 3.
I was gonna say is you remind me of this one TikTok I saw where it's like these two dudes who are like, hey look, there's a cat right there, and it's like, you know how like the whole like cat eye reflections and stuff. It's just that like in an opening of like this like broken down garage, and so they're like, oh look, it moved away, and then so they saw it like in an area where there was like an actual door frame. And they're like, hi kitty kitty kitty, and then like the cat's eyes go from like floor level where you'd imagine the cat's eyes to like above their heads, and they're like, nope, not a cat, run.
Honestly, I only had one situation like that, and I'm fairly certain it was a mountain lion because it went up a tree. Because it was almost exactly like that, but it rapidly ascended up a tree while looking at us. So
It's like,
So-
I ain't losing my eye on you guys.
So, we've all had I do have a story similar to that one, Monkey, and you might be able to confirm this for me. But, I was driving down a desolate road. It's just like an old road.
I know
taken
exactly what kind of road you're talking about.
Yeah, I had taken a wrong turn. I was like, okay, let me turn around, and I started driving the speed limit. And as I'm driving, I see one deer pass. I'm like, okay, I didn't hit it. But as I'm going, I just see another deer come out of nowhere. Like it was running, like it was scared, and I just nailed it, like hit it, like full on, fucked up the front bumper of the car and everything like that. And I was gonna get out and go check the damage of the car and the deer, but I looked back, like because my headlights were still able to illuminate the deer, and I swear to God, something had started dragging the deer. Like I don't know, I just saw. I swear, because it wasn't like the deer moved. It wasn't like it twitched or something. Like it was being dragged. As soon as I saw it looking like it was getting dragged, I was like, no, no. I just was like, I'm gonna go. I'll call mom, let her know what happened, you know. And
I have one other story that's kind of scary in retrospect. After
I
this,
also have the reason why I don't like the Amish,
what's
and it is why I
Let's
was
just go
scared
back
of the
to
Amish for so long. So my
Oh,
like now very much deceased
Maniacal.
Papaw. Oh,
What
okay,
is Maniacal done?
I thought
so okay, hold on. All right, first monkey, then hive. So you have another story?
Oh, in retrospect, it's not as scary, but at the time, it was like, oh shit, kind of just one of those. Oh, we don't look at that very much anymore. But one of the horses we had whenever I was
no.
little, out in like the super fucking far boonies.
Yeah.
One day we had heard like commotion. We went out with the truck light and the rifle, but we didn't see anything. And it was like the horse was freaking the fuck out. We had later come back and found that the head of one of our horses and like its front leg and stomach were just gone.
Like,
Uh,
what the fuck?
just fucking drug out into the woods because you could see where the blood was just
And when you say the head and front leg, and it's good,
like the
like
whole
it
head,
looked,
like
it didn't look
something
like it
that
was
had
ripped
broken
off,
bone,
or it looked like someone had cut that bitch off,
like chewed off. No, not cut,
chewed,
chewed.
chewed off the head and took it.
But it was worrying because like we couldn't think of anything that would do that because bobcats won't do that.
Mountain lions
Mountain
don't.
lions won't do that. But like there was clearly broken bone where it had to like struggle to just you know, and like we're trying to think of what would do that. It freaked us out for a good while because we installed little spotlights around the pasture to make sure that we could see what was going on out there. Um, and it wasn't until like a month later we figured out it's a fucking bear. So, yeah, a fucking black bear had ripped the head off a horse, the leg and stomach, and just had it still.
GG. Oh fuck.
And we found the skull like 2 months later. Just that thing, parts of the face were broken off. You could see where fucking teeth marks were and shit. We think it was diseased because like it was
It was a
bear looked
rabid
fucked
bear.
up.
It was a
Yeah.
rabid fucking bear.
And
that
what's
could have been
strange
what was.
is we took it down with a shotgun slug. Like it just fucking crumpled. Like
It
I'm
was
talking
probably
12 gauge slug, and it was like looked like a
you.
demon, bro.
You probably did it a favor, but with the deer incident with me, I wasn't like thinking it was anything supernatural. I was like, whatever is dragging that deer away, I don't want to fuck with, so I just left. So, but Hive, you had
Yeah,
deer.
so my very deceased now papaw, as I call him, used to own a cabin way up in Tennessee there, and we would go there sometimes. And it was like nighttime. I was out by myself when I shouldn't have been, mind
Your
you.
first mistake.
Story of how
I was a
I
child.
met a priest in the woods.
And I was walking around. I shouldn't have been doing any of this shit. This is all my fault, honestly.
Yeah.
I was out in the woods by myself when I shouldn't have been, and like I kind of it wasn't like very like thick or anything, but I came upon like some kind of like dead animal, and it seemed clearly it was someone like a person killed it, because I knew about like people and hunting animals and all that. And I was just looking at it because I'm a kind of a curious person. Not as curious as I used to be, for sure. But I was messing with it. Next thing you know, like this fucking like Amish person like fucking grabs me and pulls me away from it. I'm like, oh fuck, what the fuck's going on here? And starts yelling at me and shit. Like I did something wrong, and
you did. You were a kid.
the animal wasn't dead yet. And that shit was it was a very dangerous animal too. Now I think about it, it dangerous to me, a little child. It was like it was like I mean it wasn't gonna attack me. It was pretty much dying, but it was like a pretty big like bobcat, and I guess they were like yelling. I don't remember what the fuck they said, and like they
Get
dragged me
away
back.
from the Wendigo! Get away!
And like they dragged me back to the fucking like cabin because they knew my papa, because they worked with him, but I never saw them before. And I was like, who the fuck are these people with like no electricity, or like they sound weird too? Why why are they wearing these kind of clothes? What the fuck is going on? Am I gonna get like indoctrinated?
They ain't got no electricity.
Yeah, I legit was like, what the fuck's going on? Like in my kid brain, I was like, why don't they? These people look like they're from like the fucking 1870s or whatever. Like
We've come to take away everything you know.
yeah,
all that you
like
love.
at first they weren't like pulling me to like the
with your
cabin.
Grandpa? What?
Yeah, and I
Like,
never
look
saw
like
them
a
before because
yeah,
my
M. Night
grandpa
Shyamalan video.
he
Maybe
would
The
like sell
Village.
he had a barn and he would sell cows and stuff. So he would like sell cows to them and all that. Ow. And at first they didn't take me like to the cabin. They took me to their fucking village.
This
And I
is
was,
young Jedediah. My name.
yeah, I was like,
My name's not Jedediah. Your name is now Jedediah.
It's no longer
they legit could have just called me Zachariah because my name's Zachary. Like, I'm
Zachariah.
one step away from Amish. Honestly. Like,
Zachariah, you will wake up at the crack of dawn with your sister
If I
Emily and
catch you
turn
ever
the butter.
touching your wiener, I will beat the devil out of you.
like it was such like an odd like spooky experience for me because like they didn't have any power and like everything was so different. It's like a shit I would read out of a textbook or something. Like it's
I
like
was-
you know that one fucking M. Night Shyamalan movie? What the fuck is it called?
The village.
Yeah,
The
The Village. Literally, it's like The Village. I was like, what the fuck? And
I think
they
what-
literally like they told me to never go out there at night at any time.
I think what had happened is
And then they told
found
me
you.
how I would fucking die terribly if I did. And I was like,
Well,
oh my
if they're
god.
superstitious people, they probably were worried you were going to be taken by the witch.
Nah.
By the witch, they mean the
Nah.
principal.
I was meddling old people going, we need to scare the bejeebus out of this guy so he never does this again.
So
Dissipate.
bejeebus was scared out of me.
But also, Hive's young mind probably thought he had somehow went through some type of temporal loop or time traveled and was like,
Yeah.
oh,
Get out in the Amish dimension.
shit.
Fuck, I'm in the
Thing is-
Amish dimension now.
Well, the sad thing is I'd rather hang with an Amish than a Mormon.
I'd rather not be near both.
Yeah.
You guys are
Anyway,
terribly judgmental.
hey, I have lived with
I don't
the
So
trust the
many.
Amish.
My brother was Mormon. He's been excommunicated since then.
Listen, I don't trust
Yeah.
either. They both look upon me with sin and disgrace. So I shall look
What is
upon
that
them
talking
with
about?
sin and disgrace.
I hear about me Skinwalker.
I'm actually a skinwalker. That's why they don't like me. I've been trying to steal their women for a long time now.
Oh, yeah, I'm terribly afraid of very deep water too because so when-
that's understandable.
there's like this pond or like lake by the middle school I used to go to, and people would always say how like it's like bottomless. Like there's been multiple cars that have like crashed and like sunk into it, and like nobody can ever find them ever again.
because they've sunken
And-
into the
So,
muck.
so you're
But
saying,
But
so you're saying your weakness is a
but
very
but
skinny.
I fell into it
pond
one
of
time,
water.
and I can swim. I'm pretty good at swimming. But I felt like something was fucking pulling me down when I was trying to get up out under the fucking water. And I couldn't see the bottom of the water either. It was hella dark and fucking dank in there. Like, I'm pretty sure that I could have caught a disease in that bitch. That's probably the scariest thing.
Well, it's
Besides me
Florida
feel like I
water,
was getting
so
pulled
it's-
down.
yeah, it's Florida water, it's murky. But anyways, that's gonna be it for tonight. We've come to the end of another Sunday night here at the lounge. We would. Sorry, folks, I'm working on my outros here. But,
No, it's fine. Here.
Oh, wait a minute. This podcast was brought to you by Raytheon Ghost Hunters. You need a ghost double dead? We got a rocket for you. By Coca-Cola.
Here, hold on. Don't worry. I will quickly get us the closing remarks. Once again, thank you everyone so much for tuning in. It's been a pleasure having you all join us for today. If you enjoyed today's content and want to keep supporting, please feel free to follow and subscribe on Twitch. For any more stream notifications, possible chance to participate in even content polls, feel free to follow my Twitter and join the Undead Legion in Discord. And for any VODs of today's episode, check out the Lich YouTube channel. Hope you all have a safe night. And don't forget to tune in tomorrow for the Monday Boys. Oh, actually, hold on, wait, sorry. In about half an hour to an hour, I'm going to probably be continuing Metroid Dread. But yes, we will see you then. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.